Beloved soul, stop everything for a moment and listen carefully. This is not a random message. This is not coincidence. You did not arrive here by accident. There are only 35 minutes left in the spiritual clock surrounding your life, and what is about to unfold will happen right in front of you, quietly, unexpectedly, and powerfully. You've been chosen for a silent miracle. Yes, silent. Not loud. Not dramatic. Not something that shakes the ground or flashes in the sky. This miracle will move without noise. It will shift without announcement. It will arrive without warning. And that is exactly why you must not tell anyone. Archangel Michael stands beside you in this very moment. He has drawn his sword not to fight your enemies, but to guard your breakthrough. There are forces that do not understand what heaven has planned for you. There are people who would question it, doubt it, or even speak against it, and that is why silence is your protection. You are being prepared for something so delicate that even a whisper of disbelief could try to disturb it. For months, you have felt like nothing was moving, like doors were locked, like your prayers were echoing back to you unanswered. But what you could not see was the quiet construction taking place behind the scenes. Pieces were being aligned. Conversations were being orchestrated. Timelines were being adjusted. And now, you stand at the edge of the shift. The next 35 minutes are not about waiting. They are about awareness. When this happens, it will look natural. So natural that you may almost miss it. A message. A call. A sudden change in someone's attitude. A financial release. An unexpected favor. A solution you thought was impossible. But hear this clearly. When it happens, your spirit will recognize it before your mind does. Archangel Michael says, guard your mouth. Guard your energy. Guard your miracle. Not everyone clapped when you were struggling. Not everyone prayed when you cried. So not everyone needs to know when heaven responds. This is between you and God. There is a reason it must remain hidden. Because this miracle is not just a blessing, it is a test of maturity. Can you receive without announcing? Can you win without boasting? Can you rise without revealing the process? The silence is part of the strategy. Some people around you are still speaking about your past version. They are still expecting you to fail. They still see the old chapter. But what is about to happen will quietly close that chapter forever. And here is the shocking truth. Someone close to you will notice the shift before you say a word. They will feel that something has changed. They will sense that favor is surrounding you. But they won't understand how. Because heaven moved in silence. Archangel Michael whispers, the less you speak, the faster it manifests. This is not about secrecy out of fear. This is sacred silence, the kind that protects a seed while it is still underground. You don't dig up a seed every day to check if it's growing. You trust the process. You water it. You wait. And suddenly, it breaks through the soil. The miracle chosen for you has your name written on it. It cannot be stolen. It cannot be redirected. It cannot be delayed any longer. But it can be disturbed by doubt. That is why you were led here now, before it happens right in front of you. In the next 35 minutes, stay calm. Do not overthink. Do not rush to tell someone what you feel. Do not look for validation. Let it unfold naturally. Something you thought was dead is about to breathe again. A connection you thought was lost is about to shift. A burden you have been carrying is about to become lighter. And when it happens, it will feel almost ordinary. But the impact will be extraordinary. Archangel Michael is not shouting. He is standing still, watching, guarding, ensuring that no unseen interference touches what has been assigned to you. This is divine timing. And here is the final revelation for this moment. The reason it had to be silent is because it is only the beginning. What follows this quiet miracle will be louder, bitter, more visible. But first, heaven wants to see how you handle this one. Can you receive quietly? Can you trust without broadcasting? Can you celebrate in your heart without posting it for the world? Because the discipline of silence unlocks the next level. The clock is moving. 35 minutes is not long. But spiritually, it is enough. Enough for God to move. Enough for favor to give. Enough for an answer to appear. Stay alert. Stay peaceful. And above all, stay silent. Chosen one, lean in closer because what I am about to reveal will explain why this miracle had to be silent. You have been under observation in the spirit. Not in a fearful way, but in a strategic way. Archangel Michael has been assigned to monitor the spiritual atmosphere around you. He has seen the words spoken behind your back. He has seen the subtle jealousy, the hidden competition, the silent comparisons. And he says clearly, if you had announced what was coming, resistance would have tried to rise. This is why heaven moved quietly. There are moments in life when celebration must wait. Not because the blessing is small, but because it is sacred. When God plants something powerful inside your life, it first grows roots, not branches. Roots are invisible. They are not admired. They are not applauded. But they are necessary. And right now, your roots are strengthening. You may have noticed strange tension around you lately. Random mood shifts in people. Unexpected distance from someone who used to be close. That was not random. That was preparation. When favor is about to locate you, exposure begins to separate who can handle your elevation and who cannot. Archangel Michael says, do not react. Observe. Because in these final moments before the miracle surfaces, your greatest strength is composure. The enemy of your peace wants you distracted. It wants you emotional. It wants you oversharing. But silence is confusing to opposition. When you don't explain yourself, when you don't defend yourself, when you don't announce your next move, you remain spiritually unpredictable. And unpredictability protects destiny. There are only moments left before something shifts in front of you. It may look simple, a notification, a change of plan, an apology, an approval, an opportunity. But beneath the surface, it is a rearrangement of outcomes. The reason Michael says you must not tell anyone is because not everyone is assigned to your next season. Some people were only meant for the lesson, not the reward. If you inform them too early, they will try to reattach themselves to a chapter that has already closed. Let them remain unaware. This miracle is proof that heaven has been listening even when you thought you were alone. Remember the night you almost gave up. Remember when you whispered, God, if you're still there, show me something. This is it something. But here is the deeper layer. The silence is also training you for greater authority. Those who learn to move without noise become dangerous to doubt. You are being trained to operate with calm confidence instead of loud validation. Archangel Michael stands firm and declares, the less you announce, the more I amplify. There is power in quiet obedience. You may feel your heart beating a little faster right now. That is not anxiety. That is anticipation. Your spirit recognizes that something is aligning. The atmosphere around you is changing. And here is something important. When it happens, do not rush to celebrate publicly. Sit with it. Let gratitude fill you first. Speak to God before you speak to people. Because the moment you honor the source before the audience, you secure the flow. Some of you are about to receive clarity about your home, some about finances, some about a relationship that had been unstable, some about a decision you have been postponing. Whatever it is, it will confirm that you are not forgotten. Now listen carefully. This channel exists for moments like this, moments where divine timing meets human readiness. If this message is resonating with your spirit, I want you to engage with it. Like this video so more chosen ones can find it. Share it with someone who needs silent strength right now. Comment below what you are believing for. Without giving details, just declare it is aligning. Subscribe to this channel and become part of this growing army of faith. When you engage, you are not just supporting a platform. You are amplifying a prophetic signal that reaches souls across the world. And hold on, because what is about to unfold next will reveal why the number 35 is not random at all. There is a deeper meaning hidden in this countdown, and once you understand it, you will see that this miracle was scheduled long before you ever felt ready. Stay steady. The clock is moving, and heaven is closer than you think. Faithful one, the mystery of these 35 minutes is deeper than you realize. The number is not random. In the spiritual realm, numbers often mark transitions, and this window you are standing in is a bridge between what was delayed and what is now being released. Archangel Michael reveals that the countdown is symbolic of completion meeting manifestation. Something that felt unfinished in your life is about to be sealed with quiet confirmation. For a long time, you have been walking by faith without evidence. You have been trusting without signs. You have been obeying without applause. That kind of endurance does not go unnoticed in heaven. Every silent tear, every restrained reaction, every time you chose peace over revenge, it was recorded. And now the record is being answered. The reason you were told not to tell anyone is because this miracle carries a protective covering. It is wrapped in divine secrecy until it fully lands. If spoken too soon, it could invite opinions. And opinions are often the birthplace of doubt. Doubt is subtle. It does not shout. It whispers. It suggests delay. It questions timing. And that is why Michael says, silence strengthens manifestation. In these final moments, you may feel a strange calm settling over you. That calm is not emptiness. It is assurance. Heaven is aligning details that you could never arrange on your own. A decision in someone else's mind is shifting in your favor. A conversation is being influenced by unseen hands. An approval is moving across a desk. An answer is forming in someone's heart. This is how silent miracles work. They do not explode. They unfold. You might even look back later and realize that what seems small was actually the doorway. Sometimes God moves so gently that only the spiritually alert recognize it. That is why this message reached you before it happens, so you do not miss it when it appears. Archangel Michael stands watchfully and declares that this miracle is not loud because it is personal. It was crafted specifically for you, not for the crowd, not for spectators, for you. There is also something else you must understand. The silence is testing your trust. When the shift happens, will you immediately seek validation from others? Or will you bow your head and whisper thank you? Because the maturity of gratitude determines the size of what follows. Heaven often sends a small confirmation before a major breakthrough. It is a sign that the door is unlocked. And what is about to happen within this window is your confirmation. You have been worried that time was running out. But what you did not know is that time was aligning. There is a difference. Running out creates panic. Aligning creates precision. And heaven does not operate in panic. Some of you will receive news that removes a burden. Some will see an unexpected kindness. Some will experience a sudden internal clarity about a path forward. It may look ordinary to others, but you will know, because your spirit will respond before your logic does. Archangel Michael says, when it happens, smile quietly. That smile will be your agreement with heaven. Do not underestimate small shifts. The biggest storms start with a single cloud. The strongest buildings begin with a single brick. The greatest testimonies begin with one silent yes from God. This is that yes. And as this yes begins to unfold, guard your heart from the urge to explain. You will do an announcement. What God does for you in silence will speak louder than any declaration. Feel the shift. Breathe in the calm. Receive what is yours. If this message is confirming something deep inside you, then seal it with intention. Type I receive in silence in the comments if this is speaking directly to your spirit. Blessing code 4599 has just been released over your life. Carry it in your heart as a reminder that heaven moves even when no one sees it. Now, as this silent miracle begins to open before your eyes, understand that this mission of sharing divine warnings and confirmations is reaching thousands who are standing at similar crossroads. When you support this work through super thanks, membership, or even a PayPal offering through the link in the description, you are not giving to a channel. You are sowing into souls. You are helping light travel into homes that feel dark. Scripture says that when you sow generously, you reap generously, and this is not a distant promise. It is God speaking directly into your present moment. When you act in obedience, heaven responds with increase. This is your moment to say, I will be part of the harvest. As you release your seed, expect oil to flow back into your own house. Expect doors to recognize your generosity. Expect protection over your finances and clarity over your past. Do not hesitate when the Spirit nudges you. Move swiftly and align yourself with the flow of blessing. What you release today becomes the river that returns to you tomorrow. Step into it boldly. The atmosphere is shifting even now, and this is only the beginning. Warrior of faith, something has already begun to move, even if your eyes have not fully caught it yet. There is a subtle rearrangement happening around you. Conversations are softening. Attitudes are adjusting. Delays are loosening their grip. What once felt stuck now feels slightly lighter, and you may not even understand why. That is the fingerprint of a silent miracle in motion. Archangel Michael is not announcing it with thunder. He is guarding it with precision. You must understand this. When heaven shifts something quietly, it is because the outcome is guaranteed. Live miracles are often for crowns. Silent miracles are for covenant. This is personal. This is intentional. This is divine strategy crafted specifically around your journey. In the last season, you were stretched. You were tested in patience. You were tempted to speak out of frustration. You were close to reacting in ways that would have complicated your path. But somehow, you held back. Somehow, you stayed composed. Somehow, you chose prayer over argument. That restraint has become the soil for this moment. Michael reveals that your silence in the past weeks has been louder in the spirit than any public declaration could ever be. Every time you decided not to respond to negativity, a spiritual shield strengthened around you. Every time you refused to explain yourself to those determined to misunderstand you, another layer of protection formed. This is why what is coming cannot be intercepted. There are people who expected you to react differently. They thought pressure would expose weakness. They believed a delay would exhaust your faith. But instead of collapsing, you became quieter. Instead of defending, you became watchful. Instead of chasing validation, you leaned into trust. And heaven noticed. Right now, something is aligning in a way that will surprise even you. It may not look dramatic at first glance. It might be as simple as someone changing their tone with you. It might be a door reopening that you thought was sealed. It might be a financial burden easing in a way you did not calculate. But beneath the surface, it is correction. Correction of timelines. Correction of misunderstandings. Correction of what was unfair. Archangel Michael says, justice does not always arrive with noise. Sometimes it arrives with adjustment. And this adjustment is working in your favor. You may feel a sudden urge to talk about what you sense. Resist it. A miracle is still settling. When something fragile is being placed in your hands, you do not wave it around. You hold it carefully. You honor it. You let it stabilize. The same applies here. There is also a shift happening within you. You are less anxious than you were before. You are not chasing reassurance the way you once did. You are beginning to understand that when God decides, no human opinion can reverse it. That realization is freedom. Michael stands firm beside you and reminds you that silence is not weakness. Silence is authority under control. It is strength that does not need applause. It is confidence that does not seek approval. And the more you embrace this posture, the more accelerated your path becomes. Something else is important. When this silent miracle completes its first stage, you may notice someone reacting unexpectedly. They may become curious. They may act slightly uneasy. They may sense that you are stepping into something they cannot access. Do not interpret their reaction as threat. Interpret it as confirmation. Favor as a way of exposing hidden intentions. When your atmosphere shifts, those who were comfortable with your struggle sometimes feel uncomfortable with your rise. But you are not rising to intimidate anyone. You are rising because it is time. The clock that once felt like pressure is now becoming proof. The 35-minute window was never about panic. It was about positioning. It was about aligning your awareness with what heaven had already scheduled. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are precisely where you need to be for this to unfold. Take a deep breath and recognize the difference between fear and anticipation. Fear dietens your chest. Anticipation steadies your spirit. What you are feeling now is not dread. It is expectancy. Archangel Michael whispers, stand steady. The shift is settling. Do not rush ahead of it. Do not try to control how it manifests. Let it unfold in its natural rhythm. Sometimes the most powerful moments are the ones that seem simple on the surface but rewrite your future quietly underneath. You are stepping into one of those moments. And when you look back at this day, you will realize that everything changed without noise. The silence was not emptiness. It was preparation. And now, the preparation is turning into manifestation right before your eyes. Precious one, the atmosphere around you is no longer what it was just hours ago. Something has tilted in your favor. You may not have physical proof yet, but internally you can sense it. There is a steadiness forming inside your chest. A quiet certainty replacing the restless questioning. That is not imagination. That is confirmation. The silent miracle has crossed from preparation into activation. Archangel Michael reveals that what is unfolding now was delayed not because you were unworthy, but because you were being refined. Timing in the spirit is not about speed. It is about readiness. and readiness is built through pressure. Think about the last challenge you faced. You wanted immediate relief. You wanted instant clarity. But instead, you were given endurance. At the time, it felt unfair. Now you can see that endurance shaped your response. It taught you how to hold peace without external reassurance. That lesson is protecting what is arriving. Because the truth is, not everyone can sustain what they pray for. Many people receive quickly and lose quickly because they were not internally prepared for responsibility. But you were slowed down on purpose. You were tested in silence so that when the blessing came, you would not mishandle it. Michael says, "What is coming to you will remain with you." That is why this moment matters. The miracle you are stepping into may not explode into your life with spectacle. It may slide into place so smoothly that you almost overlook its magnitude. But days from now, you will notice how a specific burden has lifted. A specific fear has dissolved. A specific door has opened. And you will remember this warning about silence. Do not underestimate the power of restraint. When you resist the urge to announce your shift, you allow it to root deeply. There is wisdom in letting results speak for themselves. When people see consistency instead of commentary, they recognize authenticity. There are individuals who are still expecting you to repeat old patterns. They assume you will react emotionally. They assume you will overshare. They assume you will seek their opinion before making your move. But something in you has matured. You no longer feel the need to prove. You no longer feel the need to explain every step. A transformation is part of the miracle itself. The external shift is only matching the internal growth. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian not only of your outcome but of your mindset. Because if your mindset remains aligned, no one can distort what has been assigned to you. There is another layer unfolding here. This silent miracle is also separating you from environments that no longer match your destiny. Some connections will fade naturally. Some conversations will feel less necessary. Some invitations will lose their appeal. This is not loss. It is alignment. When your vibration changes, your circle adjusts. Do not fight this adjustment. Do not cling to what feels familiar but limiting. Trust that the same God who arranged this quiet breakthrough is also arranging the right companions for your next chapter. You may feel moments of reflection in the coming hours. A sense of looking back at where you started. A realization of how much you have endured. Let those reflections strengthen your gratitude, not your pride. Gratitude keeps the flow open. Pride interrupts it. Michael whispers, "Stay humble, stay hidden, stay blessed." Hidden does not mean invisible. It means protected. It means covered. It means your growth is not exposed to unnecessary scrutiny. You are learning the art of strategic silence. And here is something powerful. Silence does not mean isolation. You are not alone in this process. Heaven is actively engaged in every detail. Every step you take right now is being watched over. Every decision is being guided. There will be a moment very soon when you realize that something you feared no longer holds power over you. It will feel subtle, almost casual. But that release is evidence that the miracle is not only external. It is internal freedom. Internal freedom changes everything. When you are no longer controlled by anxiety, manipulation, or the need for approval, you become spiritually unshakable. That is the true breakthrough. The visible sign will come. It will show itself. But the invisible transformation is already happening. Stand firm in it. Do not rush to define it. Do not analyze it too deeply. Let it breathe. Archangel Michael assures you that what is unfolding cannot be reversed by human opinion. were delayed by outside resistance. The window has opened. The shift has begun. And you are stepping forward not with noise, but with quiet authority. This is how chosen ones rise. Not loudly, but powerfully. Steady heart. You are now standing inside the very window that once felt distant. The shift is no longer approaching. It is unfolding. You may have noticed a subtle confirmation already. Perhaps something small lined in your favor. Perhaps a tension eased. Perhaps a thought that used to trouble you suddenly lost its grip. Do not dismiss these signs. Silent miracles often begin as gentle adjustments before they become undeniable outcomes. Archangel Michael is still guarding the perimeter of your blessing. He is ensuring that what has been released over your life is not interfered with by distraction, doubt, or unnecessary conversation. And this is where your discipline matters most. Because when something begins to go right after a long season of difficulty, the natural instinct is to talk about it, to analyze it, to ask others what they think. But this is not the time for external validation. This is the time for internal anchoring. Michael says, anchor yourself in gratitude before you anchor yourself in celebration. Gratitude stabilizes miracles. There is also a deeper reason this had to be silent. The people who misunderstood your struggle would misunderstand your breakthrough. They would try to label it luck. They would reduce it to coincidence. They would search for a natural explanation to avoid acknowledging divine favor. But you know better. You know how long you prayed. You know how many nights you wrestled with uncertainty. You know how many times you felt overlooked. And you also know that this shift did not come from your effort alone. Heaven intervened. This is not about proving anyone wrong. It is about moving forward correctly. There is a difference. You are being elevated into a level where composure is currency, where peace is power, where silence is strategy. If you can maintain this posture now, what is coming next will multiply faster than you expect. There may still be small tests, a random comment, a subtle provocation, an attempt to draw information out of you. Do not react. Respond with calm. Or better yet, respond with mystery. Not secrecy rooted in fear, but quiet confidence rooted in certainty. Archangel Michael declares that restraint in this moment is creating acceleration in the next. You might feel a sense of urgency fading from your spirit. Earlier, there was pressure, a countdown, a tension in your chest. But now there is calm. That calm is evidence that the alignment has taken place. When God moves, panic leaves. The silent miracle you were warned about is settling into your reality. It may continue to unfold over the next hours or days, but the decisive shift has already occurred. Something that was locked has clicked open. And here is what you must remember. Do not shrink back into old thinking just because everything feels normal. Miracles do not always change the scenery immediately. Sometimes they change the direction quietly while the surroundings look the same. Trust the redirection. This channel is a space where these spiritual alignments are revealed and understood. If this message has confirmed something inside you, now is the moment to engage with it. Like this video so the algorithm carries it to others who are standing in their own silent window. Share it with someone who needs strength without noise. Write in the comments, "I am anchored," as a declaration of your stability. Subscribe to this channel and become part of a community that moves in faith, not fear. Your interaction is not just digital support. It is spiritual participation in spreading clarity to those who feel alone. And as you continue listening, stay with this flow. because what is about to be revealed next will uncover why this silent miracle is only the foundation of something much larger that is forming around you. The surface may look calm, but beneath it, preparation for expansion has already begun. Archangel Michael is not stepping away. He is repositioning. He is preparing you for visibility after silence, for influence after endurance, for recognition after refinement. But the key is this: do not rush ahead of the grace that is guiding you. Let each step land fully before taking the next. The pace of heaven is precise. It never hurries, and it never delays. You are in sync with it now. Feel the stability in your breathing. Notice the steadiness in your thoughts. Recognize the reduction of fear. These are not accidents. They are signals that you have crossed into a new spiritual atmosphere. The silent miracle has begun its work, and you are ready for what follows. Anointed One, what you are experiencing now is the settling of divine rearrangement. There is a difference between something beginning and something stabilizing. In the previous moments, the shift began. Now, it is stabilizing, and stabilization is where many people lose awareness. The excitement fades. The urgency disappears. The atmosphere feels normal again. But do not mistake normal for inactive. Archangel Michael is still actively guarding the outcome that was assigned to you. The silent miracle is rooting itself deeper into your life structure. Think of it like a foundation being reinforced beneath a building. From the outside, nothing looks different. But underneath, strength is increasing. Durability is forming. Longevity is being secured. You were not chosen for a temporary relief. You were chosen for a lasting adjustment. There is something powerful happening within your character right now. You are responding differently than you would have months ago. Situations that once triggered anxiety are no longer shaking you. Conversations that once demanded explanation now receive calm silence. That is not coincidence. That is growth aligning with grace. Michael whispers, you have passed a quiet test. The test was never about whether you could survive hardship. It was about whether you could remain composed when relief finally came. Many people handle struggle well but mishandle breakthrough. They become loud. They become reactive. They become distracted. But you are being refined into someone who can carry favor without losing focus. There may be individuals observing you more closely now. They sense something has shifted. They may not know what it is, but they feel it. Your energy is different. Your posture is different. Even your silence feels stronger. Do not explain this shift. Let them wonder. When heaven upgrades your authority, it does not always announce it publicly. Sometimes it simply increases your presence. People begin to treat you differently without understanding why. Opportunities begin to lean toward you naturally. Resistance weakens quietly. This is the stage you are entering. The miracle was silent because it needed to anchor internally before manifesting externally in greater measure. And now that it has anchored, expansion becomes possible. But expansion requires discipline. Archangel Michael is reminding you not to fall back into old habits of overthinking. When things begin to improve, the mind sometimes searches for problems. It looks for hidden traps. It anticipates disappointment. That pattern ends here. You are no longer preparing for loss. You are preparing for increase. And increase requires confidence. Confidence does not mean arrogance. It means certainty rooted in divine assurance. It means knowing that what has begun in your life is supported by heaven's authority. There is also a subtle separation continuing to take place. Some people will naturally distance themselves because they no longer feel aligned with your trajectory. Let them go peacefully. Do not chase what is leaving. When something exits quietly, it often makes room for something greater to enter. Trust the exchange. The miracle you received was not only about solving a problem, it was about repositioning you. It was about correcting your direction so that the next opportunity finds you prepared instead of overwhelmed. You may notice increased clarity in your thoughts. Decisions feel easier. Confusion is decreasing. That clarity is part of the blessing. A clear mind is one of the greatest miracles you can receive in a chaotic world. Michael declares, clarity is protection. When you see clearly, you choose wisely. When you choose wisely, you advance steadily. And when you advance steadily, you cannot be easily shaken. This is why the silence mattered. A noise creates confusion. Silence sharpens perception. Right now, your perception is sharpening. You are beginning to recognize who truly supports you and who merely tolerated you. You are seeing patterns you once ignored. You are understanding timing in ways you never did before. This awareness is not meant to make you suspicious. It is meant to make you strategic. There is a greater platform forming ahead of you. Not necessarily public fame, but increased responsibility. Greater influence within your family, your workplace, your circle. People will begin to seek your perspective more. They will sense stability in you. That stability was born in silence. Archangel Michael stands firm and assures you that the quiet miracle you experienced was only the doorway. The room beyond it is larger than you expected, but you will enter it gradually, step by step, so that you do not become overwhelmed by sudden expansion. Remain grounded. Remain grateful. Remain observant. The atmosphere is not loud, but it is powerful. What has been set in motion cannot be undone by temporary emotions or outside opinions. You have crossed a threshold, and the path ahead is opening with steady precision. Keep walking in calm authority. The best part of this unfolding is still ahead, and you are being prepared to step into it without fear. Consecrated soul, you are now witnessing the ripple effect of what began in silence. At first, it seems small, almost unnoticeable. A slight shift in energy, a quiet answer, a subtle correction. But now the impact is expanding beyond that first moment. What was once internal is beginning to influence your external world in ways you did not expect. Archangel Michael reveals that silent miracles are like stones dropped into water. The splash is minimal, but the ripples travel far. You are living in the ripple stage now. You may notice that certain paths are becoming clearer without you forcing them. Conversations are resolving more smoothly. Obstacles that once felt immovable are either softening or stepping aside completely. It feels natural, but it is orchestrated. Heaven is precise. There is something deeply strategic about the way this unfolded. If this miracle had arrived loudly, you might have attracted unnecessary attention. If it had arrived dramatically, it might have overwhelmed you. But because it arrived quietly, it integrated into your life without chaos. Integration is powerful. It means you can sustain what you have received. It means the blessing is not shocking your system. It is strengthening it. Michael says, what integrates peacefully multiplies steadily. This is the multiplication phase. Do not rush it. Do not try to amplify it artificially. Allow it to grow at its ordained pace. When growth is natural, it does not require explanation. You are also entering a new level of discernment. You can feel when something aligns and when it does not. You are less tempted to chase what looks impressive but feels unstable. That maturity is part of the miracle. There may still be moments when doubt attempts to whisper, asking if this shift is real. That is normal. When you have endured long seasons of uncertainty, stability can feel unfamiliar. But unfamiliar does not mean unsafe. It means new. Archangel Michael stands at the edge of this new territory and assures you that you are not stepping into it alone. He's guarding the expansion just as he guarded the initiation. And here is something profound. The miracle was never just about you. It was about positioning you to become a quiet source of strength for others. When people see your calm confidence, they will be influenced by it. When they observe your measured responses, they will learn from them. When they witness your consistency, they will respect it. Influence does not always shout. Sometimes it radiates. You are beginning to radiate stability. That stability will attract opportunities. It will draw partnerships. It will create respect. Not because you demanded it, but because you embody it. This is the reward of silent obedience. Now, as this ripple continues to expand, seal this moment intentionally. Type "My miracle grows in silence" in the comments if you recognize this expansion in your own life. Blessing code 8821 is now activated over your path. Carry it as a reminder that what begins quietly can transform everything. And as this transformation spreads, understand that this message is reaching hearts across the world who are standing in their own silent window. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or a PayPal seed through the link in the description, you are not funding content. You are watering fields ready for harvest. The word declares that those who sow beside still waters will reap in due season, and this is that season. When you step forward and say, "I will help carry this light," you align yourself with the flow of divine increase. Your giving becomes oil that keeps the lamp burning for someone praying in the dark. Your generosity becomes bread multiplied in unseen hands. Do not delay when you feel the stirring to act. This is not a casual moment. It is a prophetic opportunity. As you release your seed, expect heaven to release provision back into your life. Expect protection over your household. Expect clarity over your next decision. Move in faith, not hesitation. Activate your obedience and let your support become part of the miracle story unfolding right now. The ripple is still expanding. What began as a whisper is becoming a current, and you are standing in the center of it, steady and prepared for what comes next. Faithful guardian of your own destiny, the expansion you are sensing is not imagination. It is confirmation that the silent miracle has moved beyond initiation and multiplication into establishment. Establishment is where things become fixed. At first, you were preparing. Then you were receiving. Then you were stabilizing. Now, what heaven placed in your life is becoming anchored in a way that cannot be easily shaken. Archangel Michael reveals that this is the stage where permanence begins to form. You may notice that what once felt fragile now feels firm. The fear that it could disappear is fading. The anxiety that it might reverse is weakening. Instead, there is a quiet assurance building inside you. That assurance is not arrogance. It is alignment. Michael says, when heaven establishes something, it does not tremble at human opinion. This is important because as your miracle becomes visible in subtle ways, people will begin to respond differently. Some will show genuine support. Others may become distant. A few may attempt to reinsert themselves into your space, sensing that something has shifted. Discern carefully. Not everyone who approaches you in this season is aligned with your future. Some are drawn by the stability they see, not by the journey you walked. Stability attracts attention, but attention does not always equal assignment. You are being invited to choose wisely who has access to your energy. The silent miracle was sacred. It required maturity. Now that it is establishing itself, it requires boundaries. Boundaries are not walls built from bitterness. They are gates controlled by wisdom. Archangel Michael stands watch not only over your blessing, but over your discernment. He is sharpening your ability to sense intention. If something feels slightly off, pause. If something feels aligned, proceed with calm confidence. Do not rush relationships. Do not rush decisions. Establishment thrives in patience. There is also a deeper internal shift occurring. You are no longer questioning your worth the way you once did. You are no longer shrinking yourself to fit environments that feel small. There is a growing recognition that you were not created to survive in limitation. You were created to expand with integrity. This realization is powerful because it changes how you carry yourself. Your posture shifts. Your tone steadies. Your eyes focus differently. Even without words, people sense that you are no longer the same. And you are not. The version of you that doubted constantly has been refined. The version of you that sought approval excessively has matured. The version of you that feared visibility has been strengthened. Now you stand grounded. Michael whispers, grounded favor cannot be uprooted. What is being established in your life is not temporary relief. It is structural change. It is the kind of shift that alters your trajectory long term. Opportunities will begin aligning with this new foundation. Conversations will revolve around growth rather than survival. You may even feel a new level of responsibility stirring within you. With stability comes stewardship. You are not just receiving blessing. You are being entrusted with influence. Handle it wisely. Influence does not mean dominance. It means example. It means embodying the peace you have gained. It means walking with humility while carrying confidence. There will be moments when you reflect on how close you were to giving up. Let those memories remind you of your resilience, not your weakness. You endured more than you realized. And because you endured, you are now established. The silent miracle has done its quiet work. It has corrected what was misaligned. It has softened what was rigid. It has strengthened what was fragile. And now it is setting into place like concrete after being poured. Do not disturb it with unnecessary doubt. Do not revisit fears that have already dissolved. Do not invite opinions into spaces that God has already secured. Archangel Michael stands firm and declares that what has been planted in this season will produce lasting fruit. You are not cycling back into old patterns. You are moving forward into consistent elevation. The atmosphere around you feels calmer because chaos has lost its permission. The noise that once distracted you no longer has authority. You are hearing clearly. You are seeing clearly. You are choosing carefully. This is establishment. And from establishment comes expansion that is sustainable. You have crossed through preparation, reception, stabilization, and multiplication. Now you are rooted. And what is rooted deeply cannot be easily shaken by temporary storms. Remain steady. Remain humble. Remain aware. Because what follows establishment is visibility, and you are about to understand why silence was necessary before recognition. The path ahead is opening wider than before, and you are ready to walk it with strength that no longer wavers. Radiant One, you are approaching the stage where what was guarded in silence begins to reveal itself without you forcing it. Visibility is not something you chase. It is something that follows alignment. And now that your miracle has been established, recognition will begin to rise naturally around you. Not loud recognition, not dramatic applause, but undeniable acknowledgement. Archangel Michael reveals that this is why silence was required first. If visibility had come before maturity, it would have overwhelmed you. If recognition had come before refinement, it would have distracted you. But now, you are steady enough to handle it. There is a subtle shift happening in how others perceive you. Your words carry more weight. Your presence feels more grounded. Your decisions appear more confident. Even those who once overlooked you are beginning to reconsider their assumptions. Do not let this change your posture. Michael says, remain the same in humility, even as your atmosphere changes. This is the delicate balance of elevation. You are rising, but you must remain rooted. You are being seen, but you must remain centered. Visibility tests the heart just as silence tested your faith. Some people will approach you with new respect. Accept it graciously, but do not depend on it. Some will ask for your advice. Offer wisdom carefully, not impulsively. Some may even attempt to attach themselves to your momentum. Discern whether they are aligned with your purpose or attracted to your progress. Your miracle was never about impressing others. It was about positioning you correctly. And now that you are positioned, opportunities will begin aligning with greater clarity. Doors that once seemed unreachable will feel accessible. Conversations that once intimidated you will feel manageable. You are no longer operating from insecurity. You are operating from assurance. That assurance is quiet but powerful. Archangel Michael stands beside you and reminds you that recognition is a byproduct, not a goal. If you chase attention, you lose focus. But if you chase obedience, attention follows naturally. There may be moments when you feel tempted to finally explain everything you went through, to reveal how hard it was, to tell the full story of your endurance. But pause before doing so. Not every chapter needs to be narrated in detail. Sometimes the most powerful testimony is transformation without explanation. Let your life speak. Let your consistency speak. Let your calm authority speak. The visibility increases, so will responsibility. People will begin to watch how you respond under pressure. They will observe how you handle disagreement. They will notice whether your peace is stable or conditional. This is not meant to intimidate you. It is meant to remind you that you are stepping into influence. Influence requires discipline. Michael whispers, guard your heart even in open spaces. Do not allow praise to inflate you or criticism to shrink you. Stay balanced. Stay grounded. The same silence that protected your miracle must now protect your mindset. This is also a moment to deepen your connection with the source. Do not become so focused on what is unfolding externally that you neglect the internal alignment that brought you here. The miracle did not begin in public. It began in prayer, in restraint, in quiet trust. Return to that posture often. If this message is confirming what you are experiencing, now is the time to engage with it intentionally. Like this video so others who are stepping into visibility after silence can find encouragement. Share it with someone who needs strength in their elevation. Write in the comments, I rise with humility, as a declaration over your path. Subscribe to this channel and become part of a growing community that values spiritual clarity over noise. When you engage, you help extend this atmosphere of faith to countless others who are navigating their own silent miracles. And remain with this message, because what comes next will reveal how to handle the final transition from guarded growth to purposeful impact. The shift is not ending, it is expanding. You have moved from silence to establishment, from establishment to visibility. Now you are stepping into influence with intention. Archangel Michael is not stepping back. He is walking ahead, clearing the path of distractions and guiding your steps with precision. The miracle was silent for a reason, and the reason is now unfolding fully before you. Stand tall, stay humble, and prepare your spirit, because the final alignment will require one last act of obedience that seals everything permanently in your favor. steadfast soul, you are now standing at the edge of the final alignment. Everything that has unfolded quietly, everything that stabilized without noise, everything that became visible without force, hath been leading to this moment of sealing. Archangel Michael reveals that there is one last internal adjustment that must take place before the full manifestation settles permanently in your favor. This adjustment is not external. It is internal surrender. You have grown stronger. You have become more disciplined. You have learned the art of silence, the power of restraint, the strength of composure. But now you are being invited into something even deeper. Trust without contingency. Earlier, you trusted because you hoped for change. Then you trusted because you began to see change. Now you must trust simply because alignment has become your nature. Michael says, release the need to monitor what heaven has already secured. There is a subtle temptation that appears at this stage. It is the urge to double-check everything, to make sure the door remains open, to confirm that the shift is still active, to subtly control what has already been established. Let that urge go. What God seals does not require your constant supervision. When you try to manage it anxiously, you interfere with the peace that was given to you. You are being called into rest, not in activity, but spiritual rest. The kind of rest that allows you to move forward without fear of reversal. The kind of rest that frees your mind from rehearsing worst-case scenarios. The kind of rest that trusts that what has been written cannot be erased by human opinion. This final alignment is about identity. You are no longer the person waiting for rescue. You are the person walking in confirmation. You are no longer the one asking whether it will happen. You are the one living in the aftermath of it happening. That shift in identity changes everything. Archangel Michael stands firmly and declares that you must see yourself correctly now. If you continue to see yourself as fragile, you will hesitate. If you continue to see yourself as overlooked, you will shrink. But if you see yourself as aligned, protected, and chosen, you will move with authority. Authority does not shout. It simply acts. You may feel moments of reflection over the journey, the nights of doubt, the quiet prayers, the internal battles. Let those memories strengthen your gratitude, not your fear. They are proof that you endured refinement and emerged stronger. The silent miracle was not only about circumstances. It was about transformation. And transformation requires a new self-perception. Some people around you may still relate to the older version of you. They may speak to you as if you are still uncertain. They may expect hesitation. But you are not obligated to remain in the image they have of you. Step into your new posture fully. Michael whispers, do not apologize for growth. Growth can make others uncomfortable. But your assignment is not to remain small so others feel secure. Your assignment is to expand responsibly and represent the grace that carried you. This final alignment may require you to make one clear decision. It may be a boundary you establish. It may be a step you take confidently. It may be a conversation you approach calmly instead of anxiously. Whatever it is, it will seal the shift. You will know it when the moment comes. It will feel less like pressure and more like clarity. And once you act from that clarity, everything stabilizes completely. There will be no lingering doubt, no subtle fear, no hidden instability. Just peace. Archangel Michael assures you that this is the completion of the cycle. Refinement and stabilization. Stabilization led to multiplication. Multiplication led to establishment. Establishment led to visibility. Visibility now leads to impact rooted in identity. And identity must be owned. Stand in it without apology. Carry it without arrogance. Guard it without fear. You are no longer counting minutes. The countdown that once felt urgent has dissolved into assurance. Time is no longer against you. It is cooperating with you. This is alignment. And the final moment ahead will not be loud. It will be a simple, powerful realization that you are no longer waiting for a miracle. You are living in it. The next breath you take carries confirmation. The next step you take carries authority. And what remains is the final seal that completes this divine orchestration permanently in your favor. Chosen and sealed one, this is the moment where everything comes together. The silence, the countdown, the restraint, the internal shifts, the subtle confirmations, the visibility without noise. It was never random. It was a divine orchestration moving with precision through your life. And now, you are no longer standing at the edge of a miracle. You are standing inside a new reality. Archangel Michael speaks clearly in this final alignment. It is done. Walk in it. There is a difference between hoping something will happen and recognizing that it already has. You have crossed that line. The atmosphere around you has changed permanently. What once felt uncertain now feels established. What once felt fragile now feels grounded. This is the seal. The silent miracle was not loud because it did not need witnesses. It needed maturity. And you demonstrated it. You guarded your mouth. You steadied your heart. You trusted without broadcasting. That obedience created a spiritual covering over your life that cannot be easily penetrated. Now the evidence will continue to appear naturally. Doors will open without struggle. Conversations will resolve without tension. Resources will align without chaos. And you will handle it all with a calm strength that surprises even you. You are not who you were when this message first reached you. At the beginning, there was urgency. There was anticipation. There was a sense of countdown. Now there is completion. The 35-minute window was symbolic of divine timing aligning with human readiness. And when readiness met timing, manifestation became inevitable. Archangel Michael has guarded this process from start to finish, not only protecting your breakthrough, but shaping your character to sustain it. Because miracles are not meant to impress you temporarily. They are meant to reposition you permanently. You have been repositioned. The fear that once followed you has lost its authority. The insecurity that once whispered in your mind hath been silenced. The need to explain yourself has faded. In its place stands clarity, confidence, and quiet assurance. And here is the final truth. The reason you were told not to tell anyone was because this was between you and God first. Public recognition may come later. Celebration may come later. But intimacy always comes before visibility. You chose intimacy. You chose silence. You chose trust. And heaven responded. Archangel Michael now releases this final declaration over you. What has been sealed in silence will be sustained in strength. Do not go back to anxious monitoring. Do not return to overthinking. Do not reopen doors that have already closed. Walk forward as someone who knows that divine alignment has taken place. This is your new posture. This is your new season. This is your established reality. If this entire message has spoken directly to your spirit, then seal it boldly. Type IT is sealed in the comments as your declaration of agreement. Blessing code 7305 is now activated over your life. Carry it as a reminder that what heaven begins in silence, it completes in power. And as this message reaches its completion, understand something deeper. Just as your miracle was protected in silence before it manifested, there are thousands of souls right now standing in their own 35-minute window, praying for confirmation. When you release a super thanks, join membership, or so through the PayPal link in the description. You are not supporting a platform. You are igniting lamps in dark rooms. The Lord declares, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not distant scripture. This is God speaking directly into your obedience. When you say in your heart, "I will help carry this message," you become a co-laborer in the harvest of miracles. Your seed becomes oil that keeps the fire burning on this altar. Your generosity becomes rain on fields ready to produce testimonies. Do not hesitate when you feel the stirring. Act as one who understands divine timing. As you give, expect heaven to respond with multiplication over your household, protection over your path, and overflow in unexpected places. Step into this moment boldly and activate your support now. The silence has served its purpose. A miracle has taken root, and you are walking forward sealed, guarded, and aligned.